How's it going, viewers? Welcome back to another video, and today I thought I'd step away from the sim racing a bit, and I'd do a different video. We're doing another tier list for the first time since the F1 game tier list video I did sort of towards the end of last year. Today we are doing the iRacing tracks tier list, because originally I wanted to do another top 10 video where I did my top 10 tracks on iRacing, because that was an idea I had. And then I thought maybe there's a tier list for it instead, because that might be a little bit more fun. Turns out there is a tier list for it. Specifically, these are the road courses tier list. So there's no ovals, no dirt ovals, and no rallycross in this tier list. But we're gonna get into it. Hopefully you all enjoy, and hopefully I don't piss any of you off with any of my opinions. Also, apologies that my overlay is back the front. I'm sure you've all noticed that already. But basically, with my camera being on the left over here, it was covering up the actual tiers. And I can't move my overlay around like individually. I can only move the entire thing, including the face cam border. So I basically just had to flip it horizontally and put it over here, which has made the text go back to front. But hopefully you can all look past that. And let's get straight into the ranking. Okay, so I'm going to do this pretty much all in one take. As you can see, I've saved a little bit of time by putting the two tracks on this list I don't own in the don't own category, which are Cadwell Park and Homestead, Miami. I do not own either of those tracks, so I can't really comment on them. I have driven Cadwell Park on other games, but seeing as I don't own them, I thought I wouldn't comment. But this is your list of tracks down here. A lot to get through, a lot to grade, a lot of popular ones. But I think we'll get straight into it. Also the tiers, so we've got S tier, A tier, B, C, D, and F tier, and then don't own / never driven, but we won't touch that because I've done that already. But we'll get into it with the first track on this list, which is Winton Motor Raceway. Now this is a track I've done a lot of racing at. It is a free one, so it pops up in rookies races quite a lot. I have never been much of a fan of the short layout, but the long layout is, you know, it's not too bad for me. It's kind of like a middle of the road track. It's a bit tight, but there is potential for a good battle around Winton. So honestly, for that reason, I reckon I'm gonna go with B tier, I think, for Winton. Not my favourite track. It's got good corners. It's got corners I don't like. I think that is a good B tier benchmark, I think, for Winton. You know, it's an okay track. Moving on to our next one, we've got Willow Springs. No, God, now this is going to be a tricky one. I feel like I could offend some people with this. I am not a big fan of Willow Springs. I've never really liked... I feel, for me, it's too bland, if you sort of get where I'm coming from. Like, yeah, it's got some cool corners, it's got some long corners, but there's nothing really, like, identifying about Willow Springs as a track, really. It's all a bit uninspiring in my eyes, and to be honest, it's just a bit boring. So, and, I mean, there's nothing worse than a boring track, I think, in my eyes. So, honestly, for that reason, I'm gonna go with D tier. D tier for Willow Springs. It's just not a track I am a fan of at all, really. Okay, so moving on. Also, I thought I'd just disclaim on how I'm ranking these. I'm literally just ranking them on how fun they are to drive, and how good the battles are around there, and how they look as well, because I do like how a track looks. That is a bit of a factor for me. But yeah, pretty much how they drive on your own, and how well they race. So I'm not really taking into consideration how often they get used in officials or anything like that. It's just how they look and how they drive. Moving on, we got Laguna Seca. This is an awesome track. I just got a podium here in the IMSA Classic, so this might be a little bit biased. But no, Laguna Seca is a really good track. It's really good in tin tops. I feel you're more likely to get killed on a Formula car around here. It's really fun in cars that have downforce, but then again, you can also get a really good battle in a car which doesn't have downforce. In terms of hot lapping, not my absolute favourite for like doing laps on, but the racing is pretty good. And some, it's got some of the best corners in the world, like the corkscrew, just to name one, and then also the penultimate corner too is also one of my favourites. So this is going to be a high up one. I don't think I can put it in S tier. It's not like my absolute favourite. I do like it, do not get me wrong, but it's not my absolute favourite on this list. I think I'm going to go A tier for Laguna Seca. I just can't quite put it in S tier, I think, because there are tracks which will be in S tier, which I love a hell of a lot more than Laguna Seca. So I think I'll go A tier for that. And then moving on to the next one, I can also tell that this is sort of in like a backwards alphabetical order a little bit, because you've got all the W's at the moment. Moving on, we've got Watkins Glen. This is a sort of middle of the road track for me. I am a big fan of the cup layouts where it goes right instead of continuing on left down into that sort of back sector, whatever you call that. So there are, like, if we were judging just the cup circuit, I'd probably put it in A tier. If we were judging just the other layout, I'd probably put it in like B tier maybe. But judging both, you could kind of go either way on this one. I love turn 1 and the uphill. I think that's an awesome part of track. I also love the last corner, but then the toe at the bottom of the track I'm not a big fan of, so could kind of go either way. Battles around here are decent. I'm not a fan of just doing laps on my own around here. I think I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go B tier. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go B tier, and I'm actually gonna move Winton down into C tier. I think that'll be my benchmark C tier track. So I'm gonna go with that because I do like Watkins Glen, but I definitely like the cup version a lot more than the other layout. What do you call it? Okay, pressing on. So we are 4 tracks into this ranking now. I think I'm quite happy with that so far. Next up is Virginia. Now, this is going to be a very controversial opinion amongst people. The VAR, for me, goes straight up into S tier. What an awesome track. Oh my god, I love it. The straight is brilliant because you get dive bombs down into turn 1. Turn 1 itself is amazing. Like, NASCAR bend is amazing because you've got the, do you stay tight or do you go out, go wide and then tuck in and get that apex? Brilliant corner. Then the uphill, as you go left, right, as you go up that then you go up that section of track, and then it's the fast left-hander, which in a lot of Formula cars is flat out, and then in a lot of tin tops you sort of downshift once and you tuck it in. That's a brilliant section of track. Then the double right as you go onto the back straight up towards the hill, and then pulling off a move going up the hill into the right-hander is one of the most satisfying things on the game. So VAR, unpopular opinion, is definitely an S tier track for me. It is one of my favourites, and whenever there is a series there in officials or leagues, I'm always like the first to jump in. Absolutely brilliant track. But I think that is going to be my first controversial take of the video. But moving on, next up is Tsukuba. This is a tricky one. I feel like I could go either way with Tsukuba. Definitely a better track than Willow Springs. It's like they've got like PCC and stuff here, which with multi-class doesn't really work around Tsukuba. It's a bit too tight, and certain cars or certain series where the cars are a bit too fast doesn't really work either. I think they had GT3 there once, which didn't really work. But then cars like the MX-5s, Toyotas, the Clio, etc. do work quite well. Do I think it's better? Because I don't think I'd have Tsukuba in B tier. I don't think it's on the same level as Watkins Glen. Is it better than Winton? I don't think so. I think for that reason, I'm going to go... like, it's definitely better than Willow Springs, 100%. Don't get me wrong on that. But I think I'm going to go C tier for Tsukuba Circuit. It's just, like... It's middle of the road for me. It's middle of the road. That is a hard one to grade, but we're going to go there, I think. Okay, but still powering along. We're getting through this quite quickly. We've got a lot to go, but we're getting through it fairly quickly. Next up is Thruxton Circuit in the UK. This is a track I do quite like. I don't drive it too often. I've done it enough, I guess, to comment on it. I'm a big... I do like Thruxton for its long sweeping corners. You know, you've got turn 1, which is good. You've got curbs to punish you on either side for going too wide. There are plenty of passing opportunities, I feel like, at Thruxton, and the chicane in the last sort of corner does well at, like, changing up the flow of action. Only thing I don't like about Thruxton is that there aren't many walls to hit. Like if you go off, you know, you go off and you go through the grass and then you sort of come back on. In a sense, it's not that punishing. I do like a punishing track more than an unpunishing track, but it is still a circuit I do like. It is... I would probably have it in B tier. Do I think it's better than Watkins Glen? I'm gonna say no, but I'm still gonna have it in B tier. I think I can't put it in the same tier as Winton, because it is a fun track to drive. You know, when they've got the Thruxton 4-hour in the TCR, that is always a that's a fun event to do. So I think I'll go B tier for Thruxton. But moving on to a track that's a little bit more well known, Algarve. Or Portimao, whatever you want to call it. I call it Portimao. This is a tricky one. This is a track I've sort of got a love-hate relationship with. In multi-class, it's very, very fun. Very hard to navigate. Hot lapping around here and doing laps around here is brilliant because of the layout. You know, you've got the undulation and the rising and falling of the track. That is one of its most redeeming qualities. I have had a lot of shit results around Algarve, though. So, it's sort of like Tsukuba for me. I could kind of go either way. I think it is in B tier. It's definitely better than Thruxton. Do I go above Watkins Glen? I don't think so. I'm going to go I'm going to go B tier in between Thruxton and Watkins Glen. Like, I do like it. It's just, it's not my absolute favourite. I think Watkins Glen is a slightly better track. I think I'll go there for Portimao. But it is a track where, it's worth trying. Also, one of the things it does well is because obviously when you think of Portimao, you kind of think of Formula 1, you think of, you know, high downforce cars. But it does work, you know, in GT3 and GT4. Like, it's just as good as in cars which don't have the same sort of downforce, which is a good thing to have in a circuit. But I'm going to B tier there. But moving on, more Mugello Circuit. This is a track I'm not a big fan of. A lot of people do like this track. I don't have a very good relationship with this track. Definitely better than Winton and Tsukuba, though. Don't get me wrong. It is very fun in a prototype, and it looks amazing. I love all like the green, white, and red sort of curbing and all of that. It does have redeeming corners, like in that middle sector. It is very fun. For Mugello, I would go B tier. I think I would go Thruxton over Mugello, though. That's controversial. But, you know, I think this is a track I do not get on with that well. So I'm going to go B tier. The bottom of B tier for Mugello. Okay, well, moving on from that bombshell, I've noticed we do have quite a nice sort of like spread of tiers at the moment. We haven't had any in F tier yet, but I'm sure we will get to that at some point in the video. But moving on to a very popular track, we've got Imola. Now, this is a track which I love. I think it's brilliant in every way, shape, or form. A lot of passing opportunities. The racing is brilliant. The hot lapping is brilliant. Does look a bit outdated these days, but that isn't the end of the world. Imola's an easy one to grade for me. It's not quite an S tier track. It goes in A above Laguna Seca. It is very fun, and I do like it a lot. and I've got a wide range of mix of results at Imola. But I think Imola is one of those must-have tracks on the service. It gets used all the time for just about everything. So definitely A tier for Imola. Now moving on to another track I'm very fond of, Interlagos. Now, if Interlagos was updated to its absolute current form, this would probably be an S tier. But the fact that the track hasn't been rescanned in about 12 years does drop it down a grade. Don't get me wrong, the racing is still very good, but it's just some of those inconsistencies with some of the curbs and some of the looks do make it hard to put in S tier. But for me, it's still an A tier track. I would put it above Imola. I'm very fond of Interlagos. It's definitely an A tier track. And now moving into, well, another Formula 1 track, I guess you could say. We're going to do 3 in quick succession. We've got Monza. Now, do I put Monza in S tier? Honestly, I don't think I will. And I'm not even going to put it above Interlagos. Or do I even put it above Imola? Yeah, I will. Yeah, Monza will go there. Monza's a track which a lot of people love. I like it as well. Although, having driven so many laps around Monza, it does get a bit repetitive after a while. A good track nonetheless. It's got plenty of passing opportunities. It's a little bland to drive, I feel like, on your own. But the racing is good enough with the long straights and everything that I think it cancels out. You can put that one in A tier, but a flood of 3 tracks in A tier all in one go. Let's keep going. Okie dokie, continuing to press on. Next up on this list is Barber Motorsports Park. Now this is going to be a tricky one to grade. A track I've really only driven about 3 times. Had a really good race there in the SFLs when I first did it. Then I did it in the GT4s the other day, and it was a bit more interesting. This one, I feel like Barber is one of these tracks on this list, which is very, like, in terms of getting the enjoyment out of it, pardon me, is very car dependent. In Formula cars and cars with a lot of wings, the track feels brilliant. In tin tops, especially GT4s, is very understeery. Still a good track, I feel, though, like, nonetheless. For me, it's kind of on the same plane as Algarve. You know, it's got a lot of undulation, a lot of rising and falling, and a lot of fast corners. Is it better than Algarve? Honestly, I say it would be. I think I would rather drive Barber over Algarve. So for that reason, would I put it above Watkins Glen? No, no, I don't think I would, because there aren't as many passing opportunities. So I'll go B tier there. I think that's not too unfair for Barber. That is, I feel like that's one of the hardest ones, I think, to grade on this list. Moving on, though, we're going to brush over that. Moving on, we've got Brands Hatch. This is a track which I really, really like. You can get a good race in just about any car around Brands Hatch. I'm going to go A tier. This is a fairly easy one for me. I'm going to go A tier for Brands Hatch. Not quite S tier, I don't think. Above Monza for me, definitely. Below Interlagos, you get really good racing around Brands Hatch, and it is very fun to drive on its own. I think A tier is pretty fair, but I've noticed we're getting a bit A and B tier heavy. I'm kind of waiting for, like, the shit tracks to come in, but I think we'll get to those at some point. Okay, well, still powering on through this as quick as I can. Got places to be, got people to see. Moving on, next track, we got a Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, or Mosport, as it's also known as. This is a track I do quite like. A track which is very hard to get correct and be quick at, but I do like that challenge. I think probably a B tier track for me. Not quite on the same level as an Imola or a Brands Hatch or a Laguna Seca, but I think definitely in B tier. Better than Barber Motorsports Park? I would say so. Better than Watkins Glen? I wouldn't say so. I think I'm going to throw it at the top of B tier. A track I definitely do like, and it provides a very like good challenge, but not quite A tier there. Got a lot of American tracks to get through at the moment. Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is obviously talking about the Roval layouts, like specifically. If I had done this tier list video 3 years ago, when we had the old Roval layout, I probably would have put it at the top of A tier. I was a big fan, but they've got the new Roval layout, and I'm not like, because I was a big fan of that double left-hander where the flower bed was, where you'd go over the crest and you do a double left onto the banking. I thought that was a really cool corner. Now they've changed it to sort of a long right-hander into a hairpin, and I'm not as big a fan of that. The rest of the track has remained the same, and I still like the rest of the track, but I think that one change for me does demote it from A tier to B tier. I am gonna controversially put it in the top of B tier, because I still do really like the track. Why? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I still do really like the track, but that one change does take it, like, if it was still the old layout of the Roval, it would be the bottom of A tier behind Laguna Seca. That one change has demoted it a bit for me, which is a real shame, because I was a big fan of it when it was that old layout. But oh well, these things change, and you got to accommodate. So I'll go B tier for Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. Now moving on, pardon me, to NASCAR Chicago Street Course. This is a track I've driven once. I absolutely despised it when I did drive it. Do I put it in F tier or B or D tier? Could kind of go, to be honest, no, it's not on the same level as Willow Springs. It is going to be, I'm going to go, it's the first F tier track of the video. I think Chicago, it's just not good, like, in any way. All the corners are the same. It's way too tight. A lot of the corners don't make sense. If you've ever driven the prototype layout, how you can go either side of a wall that's just dead center in the middle of the track, I think is the most idiotic thing you can do to a racetrack. So for that reason, I am going to go F tier for Chicago. It's just, yeah, it's just not good. Not a fan of Chicago at all. Okay, but moving further along, away from some of these American tracks, we're getting into, like, it kind of looks like the European bulk of the video. First track up, Catalunya, Circuit de Barcelona. This is a track where, got a love-hate relationship with it. I do find it fun to an extent. I don't find it that amusing in cars which aren't Formula cars. But the racing is okay nonetheless. I think for me this is going to be a C tier track. Also, thinking about some of the other layouts, especially that chicane at the end of the lap, the GT or open wheel layout, whatever I think is whatever they call it. The one with the chicane at the end is a terrible layout. I'm going to go C tier. I'm going to go top of C tier for Catalunya. It's one of those ones where it's got redeeming qualities which could put it in B. It's got shit qualities which could put it in D. So you kind of break average and you put it in C tier. It is definitely a track like that. So I'll go C tier for Catalunya. Moving on. Yes! This is the track I have been waiting for. Circuit de Lebanon. F tier. Straight away. This track is so, pardon my French, is so shit. I hate it with an absolute passion. I do. I absolutely hate Lebanon. Everything about it. The sweeping corners in turn 1 and 2 you can't pass, and it's super easy to go off the track. The stupid hairpins have got weird ass camber profiles where it like cambers in and then it's flat and then it cambers in again, but cambers it cambers the other way. The curbs are god awful. Some are raised, some are flat, some are weird bumpy levels of messed up, which you can't even predict. The left-hander at the end of Sector 1 is all kinds of jank because it's off camber, and then you've got a raised curb on the outside, which then just lifts up the car the other way, and then you get fired off into the spin. You've then got the double right as you go down the hill, which has got it's just got a massive incline on the outside. Like, what is the point? You know, either you can have a flat section of track with a curb and a gravel trap, or you can have a hill on the outside. You do not get both to the point where you've got a curb that's at a 30-degree angle, which then has a gravel trap at a 45-degree angle. Oh my god, it's so stupid. And then you've got a wall on a banked corner at the end of the lap. It's just dumb. It's a dumb circuit. I could put it in its own category, but that would be unfair, so I'm going to put it at the bottom of F tier. But Rantover, I absolutely hate Lebanon. I think it is the worst track on the planet, and that's only part of the rant I wanted to do. Okay, but pressing on even more, I've been recording this for a while now. We're going to speed run through a few of these before we get to a few important tracks. Magny-Cours, good track, not the best for racing. It's hard to pass that. Brilliant for lapping around. Difficult one to grade. I'm going to go B tier. It's definitely above, like, Winton and Catalonia. In my eyes, it's above Mugello as well. I would go above Thruxton. Yeah, I'm gonna go in between Barber and Algarve for Magny-Cours. And then moving on quicker, I'm gonna go to Circuit Zandvoort, which is a track I'm a big fan of. I used to hate the old one with where it had no banking or anything like that. But with the updated scan, track is a lot better. Definitely a B tier one. I think for me, I'm gonna go in between the Glen and Canadian Tire. I think that is fair enough for Zandvoort. And then finally, for this quick stint, we're gonna move on to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, which for me, and I think this could go for a lot of people, is S tier. You know, Eau Rouge, Blanchimont, Pouon, you know, the Kemmel Straight, the bus stop chicane, Stavelot, all these corners. It's got some of the best corners in the world, does Spa, and, you know, it provides the racing, it creates the racing. It's just a brilliant track. So I think S tier is the only place I think Spa can go. Anyone who has it anywhere else, I think, is a little bit mental. Okay, but carrying on, still got a lot to get through. But now we're up to one of the most famous tracks on the service and in the world, the Le Mans circuit, the 24-hour of Le Mans. This is a difficult one because a lot of the people would put this, I guess, straight away in S tier. I don't think I am going to do that. I do like the track, do not get me wrong. I'm not a massive fan of long tracks with the exception of Spa. So I don't think I could put this in S tier. I'm going to go with A tier. I'm going to go above Interlagos. I'm going to go A tier for Le Mans. That might be controversial, but who knows? I might get flamed in the comments for that one. We're moving on even more to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Now, this is a track I really, really like. Do I go S tier here? Because I absolutely adore Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I think it is one of the best tracks in the world. Very unpopular opinion. I don't know if I can go... No, I am. Yeah, I'm going to go S tier. S tier for Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I think it's amazing. Properly good track. Yeah, I'm going to go S tier. That is going to be controversial, though. Well, for a number of reasons. More to the fact that I've got Gilles Villeneuve above Le Mans. But, I digress. Let's get another track going, because we'll brush over that. Circuit of the Americas up next. Now, this is a track I don't really think about much. I race it every now and then. But where do you grade it? Because it's a very good track. I think it's a track which is very popular amongst the player base. Would you say that it is better than, like, Laguna Seca? Probably not. Would you say it's better than Watkins Glen? Honestly, I would say yes. So, I'm gonna go... Oh, man, this is quite tricky. You know what? No, let's do it. Circuit of the Americas. I'm gonna go to the top of B tier. I'm also gonna move Watkins Glen above Charlotte, but I'm gonna go Kota at B tier. That is probably also gonna be unpopular. I think, because you know, it is a very good track. I think it is quite slept on amongst a lot of people. You know, you've got so many passing opportunities, switchbacks, all that stuff, especially the west layout, I think is absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to go with Circuit of the Americas in B tier there. Next on the list is Zolder. Zolder's a track I like. I like Zolder because it's short, it's got a lot of chicanes, which I quite like, it's got raised curbs, it's got a nice crest, and the racing is actually surprisingly good considering the layout. Where do you put Zolder though? I don't think I can put it in A or S. I think that's a bit too high. Could go in B tier. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go B tier. I'm going to go in between Charlotte and Watkins Glen. I don't think it's better than Watkins Glen. I do think it is better than Charlotte though. So I'm going to go top 3 in B tier for Zolder. And then moving over to Spain, we've got Jerez. Ooh, that's a tricky one. I really like Jerez. I don't think it's better than Laguna Seca or Imola, but I do think it's better than Kota. So for that reason, I think I'm going to go with top of B tier for Jerez. I like Jerez. Like one of the things I really like about it is how like a lot of different lines work. What I kind of mean by that is, if you remember back to SRW when we had the SFLs there, I managed to defend from a much faster car by taking a lot of different lines. So I completely missed the apex at turn 1. I took that outside line, and that made me quicker. It was a quicker line. Same thing with turn 2. Same thing with, 3, 4, 5, turn 6. And same thing with the triple left at the end of the lap and the hairpin at the end of the lap. So I like the nature of being able to take different lines and still be on the same pace as someone who is taking maybe what you could consider the regular line. But I'm going to go top of B tier for Jerez. Next track, Spain again, Circuit Navarra. Now, the main layout, I'm not a big fan of. I kind of like the short layout-ish. But Navarra's very average, I feel like. I don't think I can put it in D tier. I don't think it's that bad. So I'm going to go C tier for Navarra. I don't really have much to say. I do like turn 1, 2, and 3. I feel like that challenge of having a triple left is quite fun. Apart from that, the track is very plain. The racing is okay, but yeah, it is just very boring, I feel like, in my mind. So I'm going to go the bottom of C tier for Navarra. Next up is Daytona International. Obviously talking about just the road course. Where do you go with this? Because this will be a fan favourite, obviously. You can see that coming from a mile away. Daytona, I don't want to put it in S tier because I don't really like the international hairpin. I feel like it chops up the racing a little bit. I do really like turn 1, and I really like the chicane. Apart from that, I'm not a huge fan of Daytona. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the bottom of A tier for Daytona. I like it. A lot of other people like it. It's not my favourite track in the world, but it does have a few redeeming qualities, I think, which prevent it from being any lower than that. But I'm going to go B tier for... Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna go above Laguna Seca. And I'm gonna put it there in A tier. I'm gonna leave it in the same tier, but I think I'm gonna go above Laguna Seca for Daytona. Next, still in America for the next one. We got Detroit, Belle Isle specifically. This is a tricky one. Because, like, lapping it on your own is quite fun. It's impossible to pass around Detroit. But it is fun nonetheless. I don't think I can put it in A tier. B tier, maybe, like... Because for Detroit, I'm kind of using Mugello as a benchmark. Do I think it's better than Mugello? No. I don't think it is. This is... I feel like Detroit is a track where if you love it, you absolutely love it, but if you hate it, there's nothing which will change your mind on making you like it. Like, it's either you love it to death, or you hate it to death, I feel like, with Detroit. So, I'm gonna go C tier, above Catalonia. Oh! No. Below Catalonia, above Winton. I think it's definitely better than Winton, in terms of providing you with that challenge. I don't think I can go any higher than that. Okay, and then going away from Detroit is... Ah, yes! Donington Park, one of my favourites. I love Donington Park. And for that reason, it's going to go straight in S tier. It is not... Or is it? Actually, yes it is. No, it is going to go above Gilles Villeneuve. I love Donington. Awesome track. I love the chicane at the end, especially when you have the national layout, where it's just a quick right-left flick and then onto the straight. Creates a lot of passing opportunities. It's just great. It's just great for racing, and it's like a really flowing track, which I really like. So we're going to go S tier for Donington Park. Next up is Fuji Speedway. A track which I like, but I'm not very good at. A track with a lot of passing opportunities. Creates a lot of good racing. I think for Fuji, I'm going to go A tier. I'm going to go... It's definitely not better than Laguna Seca. I'm going to go to the bottom of A tier for Fuji Speedway. Really awesome track. I just like it. It's one of those ones where it's just like, yeah, I just like it. You can't really provide a reason for why you like it, but you just like it. So I'm going to go there for Fuji Speedway. Next up, Hockenheimring. S tier. W track. Above Donington Park. Oh, actually, yeah, no. Above Donington Park, above Gilles Villeneuve. Hockenheimring is one of my favourites. I love Hockenheim. Like... I think a theme in this video is I've been putting tracks with a lot of undulation and elevation change up quite high. This is the one exception to that. Hockenheim is one of the flattest tracks on the calendar, but it's still just as good as all the others. I think it's brilliant. Turn 1's brilliant, Stadium's brilliant, Hairpin's brilliant, so many opportunities to pass. I think it's an awesome circuit. So I'm going to go S tier for Hockenheimring. And then another Formula 1 track... Hungaroring. This is a tricky one. Doesn't normally provide the best racing. Do I think it's better than Fuji Speedway? Honestly, no, I don't think it is. Could go... do I think it's... Yeah, I think I'm going to go B tier. I'm going to go B tier, below Kota, above Watkins Glen. It's a good track. It's got a lot of fun corners. It's hard to race at. In slower cars, like a GR86 or an MX-5 or whatever, it's a very fun track. But once you start getting up into cars quicker than that, it becomes very hard to get a good race in there. But it's not the end of the... Like, I think once you get in a good battle, it's phenomenally good. So I think I'll go with that. Next track, Indianapolis. Remember, we're just talking about the road course specifically. Indianapolis road course, it's very wide, a lot of places to pass. You do get good racing. It's okay to hot lap on, and it is very fun in the rain. Indianapolis, I reckon I'm going to throw to the bottom of A tier behind Fuji. Good track. You know, it's not amazing, but it is definitely better than the ones in B tier, I think. Well, we're really powering through through this now. We don't have much longer to go. Next track on this list is Knock Hill. So it's a super fun track, super short track, great for some door-to-door racing. For me, on the same level as like Thruxton, definitely better than Mugello in my eyes. I do think it's better than Thruxton, so I'm going to go there for Knock Hill. A solid little track. And I love jumping over the curbs. The one thing you should see, if you want to be impressed, is watch Kyle Ridley drive a VW Jetta around Knock Hill. Most insane shit you'll ever see. Fucking, it's amazing. But moving away from Knock Hill, Lime Rock Park. We're going here soon for SRW. I'm a big fan of Lime Rock Park. And for me, honestly, it's on the same level as like Knock Hill. I'm literally going to throw it in above Knock Hill and behind Algarve there. So we're going to go with that. We're just going to start speedrunning this shit. I've explained a few big ones, but we're going to start speedrunning this shit. Long Beach. B tier track, 100%. Good track, but not quite A tier for me. B tier, definitely above the Hungaroring. Better than Jerez? No, I don't think so. I'm going to go top of B tier, just behind Jerez, in between Kota. A good little street circuit, that one. Very fun, but not quite A tier for me. Next is Road Atlanta. This is another B tier track. I think it does, for me, like, this is a very popular track, but for me, I don't like it as much. Definitely better than Kota, though. So I'm going to go B tier, above Kota, in between Long Beach. Mid-Ohio. Sports car course, nothing amazing. I do think it's fun to drive. The racing is pretty poor. Where do I think it would go? I think I'm gonna put it in between Algarve and Magny-Cours in B tier. I think it can go there. Like, it's a good track, but it is very single file at times, which I'm not a fan of. Misano, or Misano, however you want to say that. For me, this is on like the same level of Catalunya. It's a bit average. It's nothing crazy, but you're always going to get a good race there nonetheless. I think I'll go C tier. Below Catalunya for Misano, I think. And then Motegi, literally same shit. But I do think Motegi is better than Catalunya. Okay, I really underestimated how long this was going to take to create. But moving on even more, Motorland Aragon, we're still going to keep speeding through this. Aragon is pretty okay, nothing crazy here, decent track. It's definitely a C tier track. I'm going to go in between Catalunya and Misano, I think. Next track is Oschersleben. Now, this is a track I'm very fond of. Like, I really love Oschersleben. It's not quite S tier for me, but being said, it is top of A tier. I am a big fan of Oschersleben. I love the chicanes. I love how each chicane, especially the one at the end of the lap, how they all camber into the apex. So you've got the chicane halfway around, where you've got a camber at the curb, and then a dip into the curb in the middle, and then a dip again. Same thing at the end of the lap. I'm a big fan of how that, because it makes it a lot more satisfying to drive. And that track, in a Formula 4 or a Formula V, or an MX-5, is very, very fun. So I'm going to go with that. And also, it is superb in the rain. I think it's a brilliant track in the rain. So I'm going to go A tier for Oschersleben. Next up is Mount Panorama. This is a pretty easy one. Top of S tier. There is going to be, in this video, there is going to be nothing higher than Mount Panorama. Best track on the game. You know, you've got all the good corners, the straights, passing opportunities. It's Mount Panorama. It's just the best. It's just the best track, I think, in the world. I absolutely love it. So Bathurst goes up in S tier. Next up, the Grand Prix circuit at the Nürburgring. So this is specifically the Grand Prix track. A good track, I think, definitely an A tier track. Do I think it's better, in my opinion, than Oschersleben? No. Do I think it's better than Le Mans? No. Do I think it's better than Interlagos? No. Do I think it's better than Brands Hatch? Yes. Yeah, I'm going to put it in there. I think that's fair. I really love Turn 1. I love the passing opportunities at Turn 1, and I love the Schumacher S. I think it's a brilliant corner. I'm going to go there. I think that's fine. But more importantly, the Nordschleife. This is going to be a hard one to rank, because I don't get on well with this track. I'm not very good at it. I'm not very quick. I lost 100 iRating last night at this track, or 180 actually. So, I mean, where do I go for the Nordschleife? I mean, it is, you know, it's everybody's favourite for a reason. I think it is an A-tier track, yeah. I think I'll go top of A-tier for the Nordschleife. It's the Nordschleife, you know, it's a brilliant track. I don't get on well with it, but nonetheless, it's still awesome. Actually, you know what? Nah, S-tier. S-tier, S-tier, S-tier. We'll go there. Yep, nah, S-tier for the Nordschleife, I think. That's probably fair enough. Okay, and then carrying on. Next up is Okayama, a track which I do quite like. Where do you go with Okayama? This is, for me, I think this is a C-tier track. Decent. It's very good in slow cars. In fast cars, not really as much. But C-tier for Okayama. I think it's probably, this is probably like the C-est tier track. Top of C-tier, I think, for Okayama. And then Oran Park is, see, like, I could be biased here and say A tier because it's technically, although it doesn't exist anymore in real life, it's technically my local track. You could go, I'm probably going to go C tier for Oran Park. It's a bit too tight for my liking, but I do prefer it compared to Okayama. So I'm going to go C tier for Oran Park. And then another O, Alton Park, which for me is probably top of B tier. I definitely prefer it to Jerez. Actually, do I? No, I don't actually. No, I'm going to go below Jerez. I'm going to go top of B tier for Alton Park. Still a brilliant track. I love Turn 1. I love the last corner. I especially like the layout with no chicanes. I think that is very fun. But B tier for Alton Park, I think it's a really nice challenge. And the fact that it's free makes it even better. Okay, continuing on, getting into the back end of this list now. Next up is Phillip Island, a track that I really, really like. It doesn't go there. Oh, I need to scroll up more. Phillip Island, I'm going to go top of A tier. I reckon, yeah, above Australian, but it doesn't quite break S tier for me. But it's very close. But I'm going to put Phillip Island in A tier. I just love the... Actually, you know what? No, I am going to put it in S tier, yeah. Gonna put Phillip Island in S tier behind the Nordschleife. I love just the flowing nature of the track. It's just brilliant. I love it. Absolutely love it. Next up, what is that? That is Phoenix Legacy Road Course. Jeez. I mean, it's not great, is it? It's a bit mid. Honestly, I didn't expect this to be on the list. I didn't think this was going to be on the list. Phoenix Legacy Road Course. I mean, is it better? It's better than Navarra. So I'm gonna go C tier. There. Not a track I really think about too much. Portland as well. Again, not amazing. Definitely better than Oran Park. It's not as good as Suxton or Lime Rock Park for me. Top of C tier for Portland. Bit of an average track. It's okay. No, it's nothing crazy. A1 ring. Now, I'm the only one who calls it the A1 ring, I swear to God. But this is an easy one for me. S tier. S tier above, above Donington Park. Above Hockenheim Ring. Yeah, above Hockenheim Ring. Let's do it. I love the A1 ring. Absolutely awesome track. Out of all the places where you're going to get a good battle, you're always going to get one at the A1 ring. I think it's brilliant. So I'm going to go A1 ring, S tier. Road America, a track which I really like, and I like more than Road Atlanta, which is unpopular. But Road America, I'm going to go top of A tier above Oschersleben. I love Road America. Apart from the carousel is the only bad corner. Apart from that, I think it's a brilliant track. And yes, This is probably going to be my second most unpopular opinion of the video, only behind Virginia being an S tier. But LazGamez is, without a doubt, S tier behind Spa. This is the most slept on track, I think, in all of iRacing. I think it is absolutely superb. Turn 1, you get switchback potential, you get the downhill into turn 3, where you can go around the outside or whatever. You get the switching and like the constant direction change of the middle sector, and then you get hairpins at the end of the lap. What is not to love about LazGamez? I'm sorry, I think it is absolutely superb. It's going up in S tier. Next is the Saxon Ring. Ooh, this is tricky. It's a good track. I do think it is better because it's hard to get a good battle in around Saxon Ring. I'm not a big fan of the first sector, but I'm a big fan of the last sector. Honestly, I'm going to go to the bottom of B tier above Magello. I don't think it's quite as good as Lime Rock Park. That's going to be unpopular, I think. It's not a bad track by any means, but I'm going to go there. Sandown. Ooh, tricky. I think that this is as B as it gets. B tier. I don't think it's as good as Barber. I do think it's better than Magny-Cours. I'm going to go there for Sandown, in between Barber and Magny-Cours. There's just not many corners. Sometimes that can be a good thing, but sometimes it can be a bad thing. I'm going to go B tier for Sandown. And then the Sebring 12, or just Sebring. I hate this track. A lot of people absolutely adore this track. I hate this track. This is going to be severely unpopular, but this is going in D tier above Willow Springs. I don't like Sebring. It's too bumpy. It's uninspiring. The curbs suck. Everything about this track sucks. I think turn 2 to turn 5 is one of the worst bits of circuit, I think, on the sim. Unpopular opinion, but Sebring goes in D. And then next is Silverstone, which I think is an easy A tier. You know, Silverstone's a brilliant track. I don't think it's better than Le Mans. I think it's better than the Nürburgring Grand Prix track. And it is better than Interlagos, so I'm going to go there. But Silverstone in A and Sebring in D tier. Okay, so getting into some of the S's on this list. Snetterton is boring. I don't like Snetterton too much. I do like the 200 layout. I can't quite put it in D tier. It's going to go above Phoenix Road, but beneath Tsukuba. It's not a great track, which will offend a lot of Brits, but it's just not that good. Sonoma, same thing. I don't like it. It's going to go above Going to go above Snetterton, definitely. Below Tsukuba, yeah, I think so. Oh, actually, no. Actually, no, you know what? No, I'm going to go above Tsukuba for Sonoma. I do like the NASCAR layouts. I do like the hairpin at the end of the lap. I don't like some of the longer layouts. And I'm not a massive fan of Turn 1, but I think it is... No, I'm going to change my mind again. No, I'm going to go beneath Tsukuba. Not the biggest fan of Sonoma, but it's okay. It's not the worst track, but it's not great either. Summit Point, up next. I'm going to go D tier. It's just not great, is it? There's, not really any challenges. It's very uninspiring. It's very flat-ish. The racing around there is okay. I do really hate the middle sector with a passion. So I'm going to go D tier for Summit Point. We're really speeding through this now. Next up is Suzuka. Complete polar opposite to Summit Point. Absolutely phenomenal track. I'm going to go A tier. I'm going to go... It's definitely better than Fuji. It's better than Daytona. I'm going to go... I'm going to go above... You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go above Brands Hatch and above Interlagos. Not as good as Silverstone, I don't think. I'm going to go there for Suzuka. Actually, you know what? No, I am. I'm going to go above Silverstone. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant track, Suzuka. Very good track. Next up, The Bend. D tier. Trash. The Bend is just trash. You've got the GT layout which is 7 kilometers long and is trash. You've got the international layout, which is half the length and is even more trash. You've got the west layout, which is trash. The east layout, which is the worst bit of track in Australia. So, trash. It's just trash. Like, it's not quite F tier because it's not that abysmally bad, but it's not great either. So I'm going to go D tier for the Bend. Next up is Mexico. A track I quite like, but a track a lot of other people don't like. For that reason, I'm going to go bottom of B tier above the Saxon Ring. It is a track I am fond of, but it's a track not a lot of other people are fond of, so we'll go there. And then only 3 races, and then only 3 tracks to go. Adelaide, Miami, and St. Petersburg. Adelaide's fun, but really is just a race of survival. I'm going to go top of B tier behind Jerez. Don't get me wrong, it's a great track, but I don't think I can quite put it in A tier, so I'm going to go B tier for Adelaide. For Miami, I'm going to go D tier. It is definitely better than the Bend, so I'll go D tier. It's just, look, I don't like Miami. I don't like the chicane. I don't like the constant corners in the straight, and Sector 1 is pretty awful. So we'll go D tier for Miami, and then the final track on this list is St. Petersburg, which, a track I do quite like, actually. I've driven it a little bit. A track I'm quite fond of. I'm going to go B tier, above Adelaide, behind Jerez. I think, yeah, I'm going to do that. Going to quickly have a look through to see if there's anything I want to change around. Doesn't look like it. I'm actually going to put Mugello at the top of C tier. We're also going to put the Bend in F tier. Unpopularly, I'm going to put the Bend in F tier. And I think that is it. I'm going to zoom out this page. And that is going to be my completed list of iRacing road circuits. Please feel free to screenshot that, do whatever you want to do. But that is going to be it. Okie dokie, but that is going to conclude this video, everybody. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Hopefully you, well, I mean, you're definitely not going to agree with my list because I've got a lot of unpopular opinions about certain tracks, especially ones that start with S, L, and the ones then in S tier. But let me know down below the ones you disagree with, all the ones you agree with. I'm going to get out of here. Stay safe, have an awesome day, make awesome choices, and I'm going to see you all in the next video. So take care, everybody.